I'm Dr. Irina, and today I want to introduce you to the pinnacle of scanner inventor Dr. Alexander Karasev's research into biointeractive healing technologies, to the best scanner yet, the new EX735Ag. You will find out how it came to existence, its unique features and capabilities that make it simply the best for you, whether you are a layperson or a health practitioner, and why we sometimes refer to it as the Lamborghini Diablo of scanners. Even though COSMODIC technology is the latest in the evolution of scanner, practice shows that it does not replace classical scanner. COSMODIC and scanner are both important and both needed in healing, just like you need both a push and a hug in your child's upbringing. That's why Alexander Karasev designed the 735Ag to combine both technologies in one device. Well, actually the first combining attempt was not satisfactory enough to Dr. Karasev's high standards. In the first 735 version, the EX735Ag, scanner and COSMODIC were mixed together in the same modes, and this somehow weakened the effectiveness on one hand, and on the other hand, sometimes produced so dramatic healing response with so fast dynamics that only experienced scanner practitioners were able to handle the situation. Forget self-treatments. The EX735Ag was and still is a strictly professional, don't try it at home machine. Just as Dr. Karasev began to see the ways the EX735 could be improved, he also began to realize that there is still a lot for him to do in the area of scanner technology. Around that time, he finally gave in to my repeated requests to design a perfect home scanner and came up with the Dove, which he calls a true scanner, or scanner as it should be. That is due to the fact that in the Dove, Dr. Karasev finally, for the first time, implemented his original idea of creating a real neural-like impulse, which dramatically increased the device effectiveness. Dr. Alexander saw that there were still a lot of ways in which scanner, as a technology, could be improved, and the same goes for COSMODIC. So, taking all the above into consideration, Dr. Karasev made a difficult decision to redesign the 735 model. His new creation has just lately been released, and it is called the EX735Ag. This time around, the two technologies are completely separate inside the device. It is almost like two devices in one case. The special sensor system constantly monitors the body's reactions, determines which of the two technologies is the most appropriate in the area you are treating, and switches automatically between scanner and COSMODIC. You can do it manually also, of course, but in many situations you will be arguing with the device over programming, and the 735 is designed in a way that in a series of arguments it has the final word. It goes as follows. The device first suggests the right choice, then follows the operator's command for a while, even if the operator decides not to listen to the machine, and finally does what needs to be done regardless of the stubbornly stupid operator. On average, the device chooses COSMODIC in about 75–80% of the situations, leaving only 20–25% for scanner. Somewhat the same ratio as we intuitively find in practice working with both scanner and COSMODIC devices simultaneously. Fascinating, isn't it? And that's just the beginning. There is more. The scanner and COSMODIC in the EX735 are quite unusual, unlike anything else out there. They are called the active scanner and the active COSMODIC versus passive ones in all other existing scanner devices. What does that mean? Let me give you an analogy that Dr. Karasev used in his description of the phenomenon. Imagine pushing the ball along the soccer field. The ball will roll where it wants, into the nearest pit, for example. After we gave the initial direction to the ball, we do not have any control over the ball movement. We can only passively watch where it is going. It is the same with our body. With passive scanner or COSMODIC, in order to get to the desirable destination point, we have to push the body forward repeatedly, making sure it moves in the right direction. It means you may need many treatment sessions, and it may take time to get to the desired result. Why is this happening? In the passive technology, when the device influences the body with a neural-like electrical impulse, it receives back information of the after effect of the impulse. This information is used to form the subsequent impulse, etc. Just think about it. The information received from after effect of the previous impulse is used to create the next impulse. This way, we are always one step behind, always following the body's sometimes unpredictable dynamics, just like we would be standing there watching the ball rolling after pushing it, not knowing exactly where it will end up. Well, the bowling ball analogy would probably work even better here. How can we ensure that the ball is going to roll where we want it to roll and precisely hit all those pins? That's what the active technology is all about. In active scanner and active COSMODIC, impulses are formed not on the basis of the body's reaction to the previous impulse, but on the basis of extrapolation of the previous body reactions. It is like predicting the future and act upon it. The prediction flows from the mathematical analysis of dynamic changes in the body following several initial acting impulses. The device watches the body for a while and then creates the mathematical model of the body response. Now, having this model, it is possible to forecast the body reaction and create impulses appropriate to the future body dynamics. This way, we are creating a future impulse according to where the body is going to be in the next little while. In other words, we are one or even several steps ahead of the body, showing it the way to go. This means, in our bowling ball analogy, that now, instead of pushing the ball, we take it in our hands and carry some distance forward in the direction of the final destination point. Sometimes we need to carry it several times from one point to another, if the ball is too heavy, for example, or we have a long way to go. But at least now we are sure the ball is moving in the desirable direction, straight from point A to point B. We now can get to the point B much faster, which means that the desired healing miracle will happen much quicker. How does that sound? Like a medicine of the future, or what? The Star Trek device is getting more and more real. As Dr. Karasik says, SCENAR is just a beginning. So far, the EX735 is the only device in the world featuring the active scanner and the active COSMODIC. But wait, there is more. We already know that all second-generation scanners contain a special electronic mirror to protect an operator from picking up the client's incoherent vibrations. This way, the operator, no matter how long he or she works with the client, does not experience any of the client's symptoms. As we well know, the latter is pretty common for the first-generation scanners. The EX735, of course, contains this operator-protecting mirror, as well as the other interesting bells and whistles of the latest scanner COSMODIC devices. But it also has another unique feature, which protects the client from having too much. Even though COSMODIC is very sensitive to the body's needs and condition, in certain circumstances its power can still be too much for a super fragile living system. That often happens if a client is in distress. Psychological imbalance affects the physical body, throwing into the adaptive reaction of stress and making the entire system very unstable. The stressed body does not respond to therapy the way we would like it to, easily gets overwhelmed and overprotective, and requires very gentle handling. So the EX has a special receiver, almost like a radio receiver, built into it that picks up the client's psycho-emotional imbalance and tells the device to adjust the influence to super subtle settings, not overwhelming for the client. This way healing still continues, even though it will take somewhat longer time. This is a great feature, unique for the EX735, and very helpful to the client. There is only one thing to keep in mind. The receiver will pick up not only the client's psycho-emotional imbalances, but also the operator's. Therefore, if the therapist is in distress, the device will act accordingly, and the therapeutic results may not be as stellar as usual. Physician, heal thyself. There is more. Another unique feature to the EX735. This one was developed specifically for users of the first generation scanners, who now makes a transition to the second generation. Many years of practice with methodology developed for the first generation scanners put a distinct imprint on the operator's techniques. These techniques are not suitable for COSMODIC, but old habits are difficult to break. For example, working in subjective mode with the first generation scanners requires constant movement of the device along the skin in order to find a small asymmetry and eliminate it. So far, you could not do the same with COSMODIC. Well, you could, but you wouldn't get far with this technique. COSMODIC devices like the 7015 or the CDAV need to be kept on the same spot, so that they can tune themselves into the body and do their magic without interference. If you start moving them, you lose effectiveness. And that's exactly what scanner therapists who were used to the classical scanner methodology were attempting to do. Result? Not so good therapeutic outcome. Of course, the differences in methodology are being repeatedly explained to the COSMODIC newbies, but as we said before, old habits are difficult to break. The reality is, people are still trying to work with COSMODIC like it is the good old scanner 97.4. Well, the EX735 has a way of dealing with this problem. It learns the operator's style, or speaking the engineering lingo, it accumulates the user's statistics and adjusts its own style accordingly. So now, even you will be non-stop ironing the skin with the device, it will still give you the desired result, despite, I would say, your methodological ignorance. But if you ask me, it is still better to learn to keep your hands still than rely on the intelligence of the machine, no matter how clever of a machine. Just remember Matrix. But wait, there is more. One more very unique and very convenient for you as a user feature of the EX735. It is the first ever self-healing device, or almost self-healing. See, the difficulties we all, including LED Medical itself, encounter with the Russian-manufactured devices, if they need to be shipped back for fine-tuning and repairs, motivated Alexander Karasev to design a device that, if needed, can tune itself up, rearrange its electronic blocks, and continue operating as nothing ever happened. Yep, it's that good. The EX contains several electronic blocks in reserve, which are normally dormant, but can be activated when required. If something goes wrong, all you need to do is ask the device for the problem code, which it will display on the screen after self-diagnostics. This code LED Medical will run through their computer and get the repair code, which you will then input in your EX, and voila, it is working again as new. Pretty cool, huh? No more shipping expenses, loss or damage in shipping, custom problems. The user's dream, as well as distributors. There are only a few of interesting features that the EX735Ag boasts. In many ways, this masterpiece of electronic engineering is the first of a kind and so far one-of-a-kind device. Active scanner and active COSMODIC, automatic selection of the best treatment technology, adjusting to the operator's working style, sensitivity to the client's emotional state, ability to fix itself. All these features are unique to this device and provide the operator with the unprecedented in the scanner history benefits. No more guessing which technology is better to use here and now, scanner or COSMODIC. No more worries to do too much, or to push the system too much, or to use the device incorrectly on the body. No more fear how to fix the device if something goes wrong, and concerns of sending your baby to the fine wild Russia where God knows what may happen to it. But the most important, now this professional device can be safely and effectively used by lay people as well. The EX735Ag is ideal as a personal device because of its high efficiency and highly automated functioning, which requires little knowledge or training to obtain excellent results. Yet, it also has the array and depth of features and exceptional quality of components, including digital graphic display and solid silver electrodes that can satisfy the most selective healthcare professional. Add to it the mysteriously elegant and powerful look that makes you proud every time you take it out of the case, just like having a Lamborghini Diablo in your pocket. This is the very best of scanner devices available in the world today, and profound addition to the emerging field of drug-free medicine and disease prevention. The EX735Ag brings a level of healing technology that is capable of stimulating the body's own healing powers at such a fundamental level that it can change the way how healing and medicine are approached. To have a device like the EX735Ag in your medicine cabinet or in your briefcase is no longer a luxury, it is a necessity. You owe yourself the right to make a full advantage of the 21st century medicine and to have the best. Welcome to the future.